Hi everyone, today we'll be looking at the 1H paper of May of 2018. Question 1, we're being given the following information in the form of a table about the weights of 40 parcels. We need to write down the modal class. This is the most frequent class, so you just look in the frequencies and you see that the most frequent class is the 0 to 1. And to work out an estimate for the mean weight of the parcels, you just need to consider the midpoints because the data is grouped. So the midpoint will be 0.5, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. You calculate frequency times midpoint. So 19 times 0.5, which is 9.5. 12 times 1.5, 18, 5 times 2.5, which is 12.5, 2 times 3.5, which is 7, and 2 times 4.5, which is 9. And if you just add them up, the mean will be just the sum of these divided by the number of parcels. So 9.5 plus 18 plus 12.5 plus 7 plus 9, and you divide that by 40, and this is giving us an answer of 1.4. So that's the mean weight, 1.4 kilograms. Question 2, we've got people in a cinema. 3/5 of them are children, and for the children now, the girls to boys ratio is 2 to 7. And we're told that there are 170 girls in the cinema, and we need to work out the number of adults in the cinema. So we could start off by saying if we have 170 girls, so girls to boys is 2 to 7. So if we've got 170 girls, we can easily find that the number of boys is simply going to be 170 times 7 over 2. So if we just do this on the calculator, we will be getting an answer of 595, which means that in total the children are 170 plus 595, which is giving a result of 765. Now this is the number of children, and 3/5 of the people are children. So if we've got children and adults, and we know that 3/5 are children, then it means that the ratio is 3 to 2, and we've got the children to be 765. So once more, we will be using cross multiplication here to get 765 times 2 over 3, which is giving an answer of 510 adults. So the answer to question 2 is 510. Question 3, we've got some algebra questions. We simplify y to the 5 times y to the 9. We do know that when we've got multiplication with a common base, we add the indices, so that's going to be y to the 14. Now 2m cubed all raised to the power of 4. We have to be careful here. It's 2 to the 4, m to the 12, 3 times 4, and 2 to the 4 is 16. So this is 16m to the 12. C, we need to solve, it says, the equation given. We can start off by expanding. So 5x plus 15 is 3x minus 4. So 2x is minus 19, leading to x is minus 19 over 2. We prefer fractions rather than decimals, so I'll stick to that, minus 19 over 2. di factorize, this is a 3-term quadratic, it's x plus 6x minus 4, and hence solve. Well, if that's 0, then it means that either x plus 6 is 0 or x minus 4 is 0, leading to x is minus 6 or x is 4. So minus 6 or 4 are the solutions to the given quadratic. In 4, we've got a Venn diagram with 3 circles. We need to write down the numbers that are in the set A. So in set A, we've got all of these. So we can simply say 1, 3, 12, 2, 4, 6. B union C means B or C or both, so it's all of these. B or C or both, that's the union. So we can go with 1, 3, 9, 7, 11, 5, and 10. And we also have got, okay, 1, 3, 9, 7, 11, 5, and 10, that's correct. And Brian now writes down the statement A intersection C, that's the intersection, and this is the symbol of the empty set. Now, empty set means nothing, so is Brian's statement correct? Well, we see that A and C have nothing in common. They appear as two disjoint circles on this Venn diagram, and therefore, yes, because A and C have no elements in common. Now, one of the numbers in the Venn diagram is picked at random. What's the probability that this number is in set C dash? Well, C dash is everything but C. Everything but C. So, first of all, we've got the numbers from 1 up to 12. So it's 12 numbers in total. And in C, it's only the 10 and the 5. So it means we are left with 10 out of 12 being the chance of picking a number that's actually not in C, which simplifies to 5/6. And that's it. In question 5, we need to write 8 times 10 to the power of 4 as an ordinary number. So it's just 8 followed by 4 zeros. And then we need to work out 3.5 times 10 to the 5 divided by 7 times 10 to the 8. Even though we can do this on the calculator, we can also show full workings here. I like to show the division as a fraction because then I can consider the numbers with numbers and then the powers of 10 with powers of 10. Now, 3.5 divided by 7 is 0.5, and then 10 to the 5 divided by 10 to the 8 is 10 to the minus 3, because we are deducting the powers. We need to give our answer in standard form, so we're just going to say this is 5 times 10 to the minus 4. I increase the 0.5 by a factor of 10, so I decrease the power of 10 by 1. So my final answer will be 5 times 10 to the minus 4. In question 6, we are given a diagram here. We've got 3 points on a circle, center O. We've got all the measurements here. And we are asked to calculate the circumference of the circle. The idea is to use Pythagoras' theorem to find the hypotenuse, which is the diameter, and then use the formula for the circumference of a circle to find the answer. So we'll start off by saying that Mn is the square root of 3.5 squared plus 9.7 squared. So if we quickly do that, we will be getting a result of 10.312. So we know that the circumference is 2 pi r, which is just pi times 10.312, because the diameter is just 2 radii. So if I multiply by pi, maintaining full accuracy throughout, I get an answer of 32.4 to 3SF, and that's centimeters. So 32.4 centimeters is the answer for question 6. In question 7, we're being told that someone bought a boat for $160,000, and we've got a depreciation. Depreciation means decrease. So by 4% each year, and we need to find the value of the boat at the end of the 3 years. So we've got 3 consecutive years during which a 4% decrease has been applied for each of these years. Now, if I am decreasing something by 4%, the multiplying factor is 0.96, and I need to raise that to the power of 3 because I've got the 3 years. So 160,000 times 0.96 to the power of 3 is giving you an answer of 141,558 to the nearest dollar. So 141,558. And then Jalina gets a salary increase of 5%. Her salary after the increase is 252,000. What was her original salary? So we've got the before and the after. We know that after is 252,000, and there has been a salary increase of 5%, which means a multiplying factor of 1.05. So to find the before, I simply do 252,000 divided by 1.05. So 252,000 divided by 1.05 gives me an answer of 240,000. Question 8, we're given 2 numbers, A and B, decomposed into prime numbers. We need to find the highest common factor. For the highest common factor, we pick out the common to their lowest power. So common factors to their lowest power. So that would be, in this case, 3 times 7 to the power of 3, which gives an answer of 1,029. And for the lowest common multiple, we pick all factors to their highest power. So in our case, it would be 2 to the 3 times 3 to the 5 times 5 times 7 to the power of 4. And it's okay to leave it like that. It's a huge number. Okay? So it's okay to leave it like that. 2 to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 5 times 5 times 7 to the power of 4. Now we've got an extra number showing up, it's C. The highest common factor of B and C is 2 to the power of 3 times 7, and the LCM of A and C is given here. We need to find the value of P, Q, and R. So if I just focus on the first piece of information, that the highest common factor of B and C is 2 to the 3 times 7, we said that for the highest common factor, we pick the common to their lowest power. So we certainly know that for a 7 to appear here, it means that R must be 1. So based on that, R is 1. And then for the LCM of A and C, we pick all of the common factors to their highest power. We've got a 2 to the power of 4 appearing here, which means that P must be 4. And we also have 5 squared appearing here. And if you just notice the factors of 5 in A and C, that makes Q equal to 2. So the answer should be 4, 2, and 1. In 9, we've got a right angle triangle shown here, and then 5 identical such triangles are put together to make the shape given here. We need to calculate the perimeter. Now, to calculate the perimeter, we just need to realize that we've got this part here appearing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then we've got this part here, which is just the hypotenuse, take away the shortest of the 3 sides. So I think it makes perfect sense to start by finding the lengths on the given triangle here. I will call them X and Y. I will be using SOHCAHTOA for this one. So we can say that the tan of 72 is 12.8 over X. So X is 12.8 over tan 72. So 12.8 divided by tan of 72 is giving me an answer of 4.159. And for Y, we can use sine. Sine of 72 is 12.8 over Y. So Y is 12.8 over sine 72, which gives an answer of 13.459. So we found the missing sides, and we can revisit the diagram here. We know that this is 12.8, and what I've highlighted here in blue is simply Y minus X. And we've got 5 of 12.8 and then 5 of Y minus X to close up the shape. So the perimeter will simply be 5 times 12.8 plus 13.459 minus 4.159. Please do note that I'm using full accuracy here to avoid any premature rounding errors. So if I plug everything on the calculator times by 5, I get 110.5. I think they're asking for an answer correct to 3SF, so I'll be 110. Now you have to be really careful because if you do it exactly, just like I did on my calculator, it was 110.4987. So you can see how easy it is just for not using full accuracy to run the risk of rounding to 111, which will be penalized with a mark. So the answer is 110 centimeters. Next question is a cumulative frequency graph drawn for us. We've got 80 films in total. It's about the length in minutes of each of these films. And we need to find an estimate for the interquartile range. So I will do a quarter of 80, which is 20, to find Q1, and then 3/4 of 80, which is 60, to find Q3. So I'm just going to be drawing lines here at 20 to read off the values from the graph here. So that's Q1, and for Q3 we go at 60. So it's easy to see that Q1 is 102 to 103, maybe we could say 102.5, and Q3 is 123. So if you just do the difference of these three, you'll be getting the interquartile range. So 123 minus 102.5, which is 20.5 minutes. And then Claire says that more than 35% of these films are over 120 minutes long. And we need to say whether Claire is correct, giving a reason to justify our answer. So she's saying that more than 35% of these films are over 120 minutes long. I will actually go back to my cumulative frequency curve at 120 minutes to see how many films we had. So 120 is here, going to the left to read off the value. This value here is 55.5. So 55.5, that's an estimate, films are less than 120 minutes long. Remember that the total is just 80 films. So if I do 80 minus 55.5, I get 24.5 films over 120 minutes. So out of 80, 24.5 over 80 times 100, I will convert essentially this probability into a percentage. It turns out to be 30.625% of the films are over 120 minutes long, which means that what Claire is suggesting is actually false. So we really need to say that hence Claire is not correct. So that's the explanation for 3 marks here, to show the working and also write down the conclusion. In 11a, we need to expand the triple bracket. I can start with the first two. So I'll be 2x squared plus 6x minus x minus 3, and then x minus 5. I will first collect the like terms in the first set of brackets. So 2x squared plus 5x minus 3, x minus 5, which leads to 2x cubed minus 10x squared plus 5x squared minus 25x minus 3x plus 15, which is 2x cubed minus 5x squared minus 28x plus 50. So we need to expand but also simplify. So we ended up with 2x cubed minus 5x squared minus 28x plus 15 for 3 marks. And then solve 3x squared plus 6x minus 5 is 0. Show your workings clearly, give answers to 3SF. Now, this is the prompt that's really telling you use the quadratic formula, and this is just saying don't use the calculator to just get the answers. You need to show your working. So, in our case, A is 3, B is 6, C is negative 5. The quadratic formula is given in the formula sheet, so all you need to say is substitute. X is minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac square root of that, and all of it over 2a. This should be giving you two answers. So if we carefully plug everything on the calculator, we should be getting an answer of 0.633 or minus 2.63. These are the two answers to 3SF that we need to give here. How's question 11 of this paper? In question 12, we've got two straight lines drawn on the grid. It's 3y is 2x plus 6 and 4x plus 3y is 24. We actually need to write down the solution of the simultaneous equations, which is just the point of intersection here at 3, 4. So x is 3 and y is 4. And then we need to show by shading the required region, which is defined by all of these 5 inequalities. The first thing we need to note is that two of the straight lines do appear on the diagram. These are just the axes. So I need to consider x plus y is equal to 4 and draw this line on my diagram. So consider x plus y is 4. It's a straight line. When x is 0, we see that y is 4. And when y is 0, we see that x is 4. This will give me 2 points through which the line passes, and therefore will allow me to draw the straight line here, which will be drawn here like this. So this is x plus y equals to 4. And we now need to determine what is the region that's being defined by these inequalities. Let me start with the first one. X is greater than or equal to 0. Well, this is the line of x being 0. I want to be greater than or equal to that, so I want to be on the right side. So I always shade the unwanted. So I will shade on the left. Similarly, for y is equal to 0, this is a straight line. We want y greater than or equal to 0. We want to be above, so we shade below. Now, looking at the slant lines, x plus y greater than or equal to 4. This is the line x plus y equals to 4. We want x plus y to be greater than or equal to 4. We want to be above, so I will be shading this way. So I always shade the unwanted, leaving the wanted region clear. Then we have that 3y is less than or equal to 2x plus 6. That's the line. We have to be less than or equal, so we have to be below. So I shade here. And finally, it's 4x plus 3y less than or equal to 24. That's the straight line of 4x plus 3y is 24. We want to be less than that. We want to be below, so we shade above. And we see that what we are left with is this region here, which I'm now shading in red. And we need to label this region with the letter R to identify that we know how to interpret inequalities in regions. So this is R. So this is what we get here. In 13, I'll be given a diagram. O is the center, QMT is a tangent. We need to find the size of NOM. We can see that it's an angle at the center, which is twice the angle at the circumference. So NOM is 54 degrees, and the reason is angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. We then need to find the size of angle NMQ. NMQ is the angle here. Well, this will be 27 degrees because of the alternate segment theorem. This chord here, NM, is separating the circle into two segments, and therefore NMQ is 27 degrees, and there is only alternate segment theorem. Question 14 is on functions. We have f of x defined to be 3x minus 5 over 4. We need to find f of negative 7, which simply means substitute x to be negative 7. I'm just going to put this on the calculator, and we will be getting an answer of minus 13 over 2. And then we need to find the inverse. We start by writing this as y is 3x minus 5 over 4. We interchange x and y, which means wherever we see an x, we put a y and vice versa. And then we try making the y the subject of the formula. So we get y is 4x plus 5 over 3. It's a common mistake to stop here, and this will not be giving you full marks. We need to actually say f inverse of x is 4x plus 5 over 3. And then the function g is defined with the root of 19 minus x. F g of 3 is a composite function, which means first do g and then do f on that. Now g of 3 is the square root of 19 minus 3, which is f of 4 because it's the square root of 16. And then I will input 4 into f, so it's going to be 3 times 4 minus 5 over 4, which is 7 over 4. So with composite functions, we first start from the heart of the problem, working our way outwards. Which values of x cannot be included in any domain of G? Well, here we need to say that we have a problem if we're taking the square root of a negative number. So if 19 minus x is negative, so if 19 is less than x. So we need to exclude the problematic values, which are anything which is greater than 19. 15 is about simplifying fully the given expression here. I see a negative fractional power and a fraction as the base. The first thing to do is consume the negative sign of the power by flipping, considering the reciprocal of the base. So this will take care of the negative sign in the power. And then we know that when we raise a power to a power, we multiply the indices together. So it's going to be y to the 8 to the a quarter over the fourth root of 256 times x to the 20 to the a quarter, which will give me y squared. The fourth root of 256 is 4, and x to the 20 to the a quarter is x to the 5. So that will be the simplified answer for this first part of question 15. And in B, we need to express the given algebraic expression in as a single fraction. I will start by factorizing the denominators. The first one is the difference of two squares, 3x minus 5 and 3x plus 5. And the second one is just a factor of 2, which gives me 3x plus 5. The LCM now is 2 brackets 3x plus 5, 3x minus 5. So we know that we need to multiply the first one by 2 and the second one by 3x minus 5. Do not forget the denominator. The denominator will be the LCM, and it will stay there. Doesn't go away, doesn't cancel out. And in the numerator, you have 2 minus brackets 3x minus 5. It is crucial to use the brackets here to avoid a bit mix up with the signs. So this is 2 minus 3x plus 5 over 2 brackets 3x plus 5, 3x minus 5, which is 7 minus 3x over 2 brackets 3x plus 5, 3x minus 5. That will be our final answer for this part of the question. It's always a good idea to put the answers in the space provided. It makes the life of the market a lot easier. So that was question 15. In question 16, we're being told that the frustum is made by removing a small cone from a large cone, and the cones are mathematically similar. And given that the radius is r and the height is h of the big cone, and the fact that the volume of the frustum to the volume of the large cone is 98 over 125, then we need to find an expression in terms of h for the height of the frustum. So I will start by observing that the volume of the frustum is simply the volume of the large cone minus the volume of the small cone. So it might be better to work with the cone because they are mathematically similar, and I could actually draw a triangle within the large cone to extract all the necessary information. So we've got the height to be small h and the radius to be small r, and we could call maybe the radius of the small cone capital R and the height of the small cone capital H. Now, instead of considering the ratio of the volume of the frustum to the large cone, I would just say that the volume of the small cone over the volume of the large cone is simply the volume of the frustum, sorry, the volume of the cone, the large cone, minus the volume of the frustum over the volume of the large cone. And this is the volume of the large over the volume of the large, which is simply 1, minus the volume of the frustum over the volume of the large cone, which is 1 minus 98 over 125, which is giving me an answer of 27 over 125, which I have to realize that this is 3 over 5 to the power of 3. And suddenly things start to click into place, because we do know that for similar shapes, we've got that if the length gets multiplied by k, the volume gets multiplied by k cubed. So we've got the small cone, we've got the big cone, large cone, okay. Got the large cone, and if the length gets multiplied by k, the volume will be multiplied by k cubed. Now, from what we have seen here, the volume of the small is 3 over 5 cubed times the volume of the large, or better, the volume of the large is 5 over 3 cubed the volume of the small. So we just realized out of this that to go from the small to the large, I multiply by 5 over 3 cubed. So k cubed is 5 over 3 cubed. So k must be 5 over 3. That's the scale factor for the length. Now, the question is asking for an expression in terms of h for the height of the frustum. Now, the height of the frustum here is simply the small h minus the capital H. So the height of the frustum is just small h minus capital H. Now we know that the height of the small cone is capital H and the height of the large cone is small h. So we know that h is 5 over 3 capital H, or simply that capital H is 3 over 5 small h. So we've got a relationship between the height of the small cone and the height of the big cone. So what I will do here is simply replace the capital H with 3 over 5 h, and this will give me 2 over 5 h, which is the required answer, 2 over 5 h. So this is what we get in this question, which is certainly challenging because you need to consider all the ideas of similar shapes and how this will allow you to get the answer of 2 over 5 h. It's also the absence of numbers that's making this question more difficult, because it's asked abstractly in algebraic terms with h and capital H and all of that. 17 is a question on vectors. We're being given parallelogram A, B, C, D. We have that AB is 2, 7 and AC is 10, 11. And point B has coordinates 5, 8. I will add the vectors here. This is 2, 7, which means that to go from A to B, I will go 2 to the right and 7 up. And to go from A to C, I will add a dotted line here. From A to C, this is 10, 11. We need to work out the coordinates of C. Now, I will work by first finding the coordinates of A. Now, from A, I go 2 to the right and 7 up to get to B. So A must be having coordinates 3, 1. And then to go from A to C, I go 10 to the right, so 13, and 11 up, 12. So the coordinates of C should be 13, 12. All my workings appearing on the diagram here. And then we have a point D that has coordinates 63,211. And we need to use a vector method to prove that ABE is a straight line. So what I will actually do is, first of all, write down AB, which is 2, 7. And then I will consider AE. Now to go from AE, I can go from A to O, and then from O to E. Now, because A has coordinates, as we said, 3, 1, it means that to go from O to A, I will go 3 to the right and 1 up. So to go from A to O, I will go 3 to the left and 1 down. So 3 to the left and 1 down is minus 3 minus 1. And then to go from O to C to E, it's going to be 63, 2, 1, 1. So this is 60, 210, which I can factor out the 30 and gives me 2, 7. So this is 30 times AB. Now, the fact that the vector AE is a multiple of AB means that we can conclude that the line segment AE and the line segment AB are parallel. We also see that A is a common point. So this means that the points A, B, E all lie on the same straight line. They are said to be collinear, and hence ABE is a straight line as required. It is important to say that the two lines are parallel, that we have a common point, and therefore we are looking indeed at a straight line. 18, we are being given the sketch of a curve, and we need to consider the coordinates of the minimum point. It's originally at -2, -1. F of x minus 5 is a translation 5 units to the right, which simply means add 5 to x. So this means that it will take me to 3 minus 1. Whereas y is a half of fx, means that I will multiply the y's by half. So this is changing the coordinates of -2, -1 to -2 minus a half. And then the graph of y is a sine x minus b between -90 and 450 has been drawn. We need to find the values of a, b, and c. Now I could start maybe by considering what kind of transformations we're looking at here. Now the a means we multiply the y's by a. The minus b means add b to x, so move it to the right, and the plus c means add c to y. And I could also try drawing the graph of sine x here, which should look something like this. This is sine x. So we could start considering on what has happened here. Maybe if we start with a, let's go alphabetical here. If a is 2, this means that we've got a stretch in the vertical scale factor of 2, so it's going up to the maximum. So something like that, and it's going up to -2 here. So this is y is 2 sine x. And if I just take that and translate it by 1 up, then I will be matching the maxima and the minima we see here. So if I take this and I move it 1 up, let me just do that. So I will take the graph of 2 sine x and I will take it 1 up. Let me change the colors a bit. So this will be the graph of 2 sine x plus 1. So we have a matching the maximum and the minimum, and so we can say that a is 2 and c is 1. And then we need to consider what exactly is happening with the minus b. We said that we are adding b to x, so it means we are translating to the right. So to translate to the right, if I just take the graph and move it to the right, let me just do that. So you see that I have to move it 90 degrees to the right. So this is making b to be 90. Certainly a very challenging question, this one, because you need to consider all the possible transformations, especially with this shifting at the end of 90 degrees to the right. So we see that in order to match the graph, we need to go 90 degrees to the right. So this is exactly what we get here. So we got A to be 2, B to be 90, and C to be 1. Question 19 is a probability question. We've got Jack playing game with two fair spinners, A and B. Now A can land on 2, 3, 5, or 7, and spinner B can land on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Jack will spin both spinners and he wins the game if one spinner lands on an odd number and the other spinner lands on an even number. And he plays the game twice. What's the price? He will win the game both times. I know that most of us here will be thinking of a tree diagram, but because of the large number of possibilities, I will go for a sample space diagram. So I'm just gonna put the numbers here: 2, 3, 5, 7, and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is spinner A and spinner B. It is crucial to realize that because we have fair spinners, then all of the outcomes are equally likely to occur. So I will just put crosses here so that we see that there is a total of 20 possible outcomes, and I'm just going to highlight how many of them represent a success. And it's a success if one spinner lands on an odd number and the other spinner lands on an even number. So I'll be highlighting. This is a success because A is an odd number and B is an even number. This is also a success and this is also a success. I have a success here and here and here. And these are also successes. Then I've got the 5 with the 2 and the 3 with the 2. So out of a total of 20 possible outcomes, because I've got 20 crosses, I have 3, 6, 9, 11 ways of getting a success, which is one spinner landing on an odd number and the other spinner landing on an even number. So probability of wins in a game is 11 out of 20. But he's going to play the game twice. So the answer would be squaring this probability if I want to have a win both times, which is 121 over 400. So 121 over 400 is the answer to 19. Question 20. ABC is an isosceles triangle, AB is AC. Now A has coordinates 4, 37, and B and C lie on the line with the equation of 3y is 2x plus 12. We need to find an equation for the line of symmetry of triangle ABC, giving our answer in a particular form. Px plus qy is r. I will draw a diagram not drawn to scale. I'm not going to be worrying much about where I put the points, so I will just draw a triangle here, isosceles triangle. It's AB equal to AC. A has coordinates 4, 37. B and C lie on this line, which I will be drawing. This is the line. 3y is 2x plus 12. Now, the line of symmetry of the triangle is simply the perpendicular bisector of the base. This is the line of symmetry here. So we certainly know that it should be passing through 437 and should be perpendicular to BC. So if we manage to find the gradient of BC, then we will be able to proceed in finding the equation of the line. Now, for BC, the equation is 3y is 2x plus 12, which means that if I divide everything by 3, I will be able to put it in the standard form of y equals mx plus c, which allow me to conclude that m is 2/3. Now we know that if two lines are perpendicular, then the product of the gradient is -1. So the gradient of the line of symmetry will be minus 3 over 2. So, we were after the equation of a straight line y cos mx plus c. What do we know? We know that m is minus 3 over 2, so let me just update this into minus 3 over 2x plus c. And then let's just consider the fact that it passes through 437. So when y is 37, x is 4. So this is giving me 37 is minus 6 plus c. So c is 43. So the line is having an equation of y is minus 3 over 2x plus 43. And I'm not done. I need to consider that I have to give it in a particular form. I will multiply everything by 2. So 2y is minus 3x plus 43. And then 2y plus 3x is 43. And that will be exactly the form requested here. So 2y plus 3x is 43. And this is the end of this paper. Thank you very much.